Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today I'm going to talk about all of the books, not all of the books, some of the books that I hope to read in the month of January. I'm finding it a little hard to wrap my mind around January and what I want to read in January. So this pile started out really small and then I grabbed some books off my series shelf. I have a couple options in here. I really just don't know yet. There are a couple that are definitely set in stone and I'll tell you about those. And the rest are kind of up in the air and I will probably read more than this in the month of January. We'll just have to wait and see. I guess I'm leaving it a little open and free, and I'm okay with that. First off, though, I'm going to tell you about the book that I'm going to be reading with my patrons in the month of January. If you don't know, I have started a Patreon recently, and the link to it will be down in the description always in every video. This is just another place, another community where I will be connecting with people. And one of the things that we're going to do to connect is have a book club. I have stopped my Goodreads read-along group and moved that book kind of conversation over to Patreon. Nothing is changing here on my YouTube channel, but every month we will have a book. And if you are a $5 or $8 patron, you get to help vote on the book that is chosen for the month. For January, I gave 3 choices. I didn't grab the third one because it didn't get as many votes. But these two, this Tenderland by William Kent Kruger and The Sound of Gravel by Ruth Werner, were very close, neck and neck all the way through. But the final decision is that as a group, my patrons will be reading this Tenderland by William Kent Kruger. I will be filming a spoilery vlog as I read it that will be available only to patrons, but there will also be discussions along the way and how is everybody doing and check-ins on the book and questions and thoughts and all of that good stuff about this Tenderland. And all of that will be happening over at my Patreon page. For the rest of you, you'll have to wait until my wrap up at the end of the month to know what I thought about this book, but I'm very excited to read this. It is one of my 5-star predictions, and I've just heard so much praise for it that it's just something that I've been just very, very eager to read. And it's a Book of the Month book, which will knock off one of the Book of the Month books that I would like to read in 2021. So it reaches a goal. It's a 5-star prediction. My patrons chose it. I'm so excited to read this one. If you're not familiar with what it's about, it is set in the Midwest in the 1930s. And I believe we follow a bunch of kids. It kind of has a Huckleberry Finn vibe. A couple of kids run away from the school that they're a part of. They're kind of troublemakers, but they cross the line at one point and they need to get out of Dodge. So they raft down a river and it's a bit of a coming of age. I don't know much more than that, but I do know that people have really, really loved it. And so I'm so excited to read it. The thing is, I was also very excited to read The Sound of Gravel by Ruth Werner. This is a nonfiction. It was gifted to me by Lindsay in my 12 Plaids of Christmas book exchange in December. And I just really, really, really want to read this one. It's the memoir of Ruth Werner, who was like child number 39 of her father's 42 children in an extreme religious cult sect group of people who live in Mexico. And it's her story of growing up in this community and the ins and outs, the nitty gritty, and I think how she kind of gets out of it eventually. Oh, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to read it. I've heard such good things about this one as well. So those of you who voted for this one in my patron group, we might chat about this one a little bit as well, because it was so close between these two and I just really, really wanted to read this one as well. So both of those I will be reading along with my patrons. So if you are interested in reading those along with us, check out that link down below. Then I have another buddy read that I've talked about doing with Naomi at Naomi's Bookshelf. And this is also going to be starting to fulfill one of my goals for 2021, because this is The House at Foster Hill on Foster Hill by Jamie Jo Wright. And Jamie Jo Wright is one of the authors that I want to try out in 2021. So I'm super excited to read this with Naomi. I've never done a buddy read with her. So first of all, that's super exciting. I will link her channel down below as well. Second of all, this is an author I have heard Chantel over at Chantel at An Intentional Life talk about quite a bit. And now a few others as well have picked up books, mainly because of Chantel. But this is a Christian fiction with kind of a gothic vibe. It has dual timeline, historical fiction section, or like parts of it are very historical. And it's going to be maybe a little creepy or like intense, thrillery to a degree. I think this is not Chantel's favorite of the ones that she's read, but I have heard quite a few other people say that they really love this one. I'm just excited to see what I think about it. And I love the idea of a gothic thriller Christian fiction. That just is very intriguing to me. So I'm really excited to read this one. I decided this year that in order to help me read more books from my shelf, I'm going to participate, speaking of Chantel, I'm going to participate in her Read Your Bookshelf challenge for the year of 2021. Each month, she has given us a prompt that we can choose books off of our bookshelves to read to help just kind of keep our books in front of our brains and like in front of our minds so that we can keep reading books from our shelves. And I was going to participate in a similar challenge from the Unread Shelf. I think it's called the Unread Shelf Project. She's on Instagram, but I thought it would be fun to just support Chantel as I'm becoming friends with her here on this platform. So I've decided I'm not going to do the Unread Shelf Project challenge. I'm going to do the Read Your Bookshelf challenge with Chantel. So the prompt for January is to read a book with a house or homey word in the title. It can be literally house or home, which is what I have, or it could be like mirror or light or door or shelves or books or like things that are in your home. You can kind of make it fit the books that are on your own shelves. But I have a lot of books that have home or house in the title, as you may have seen in a recent shelf spotlight that I think I did in November around Thanksgiving, because we were all kind of staying home for Thanksgiving. So first of all, if I read this one, The House on Foster Hill, it has house in the title. So mission accomplished. But I did pull off 3 others, and all 3 of these are from my book exchange. And I think all 3 are from Lindsay. So Lindsay, you're knocking it out of the park today, because I also have The Sound of Gravel, which is from you. But this one is from last year's book exchange, Calling Me Home by Julie Kibler. I've heard such good things about this one. And then I also grabbed The Two Family House, which I believe is a contemporary by Linda Cohen Loigman, who wrote The Wartime Sisters. I couldn't remember when I was unwrapping this who she was and how I had heard of her, but I have read her book, The Wartime Sisters, and really enjoyed it. So looking forward to reading that possibly. Or I also have The Salt House by Lisa Duffy, which sounds like it's going to be an emotional read. Yeah, it says, in the tradition of Lisa Genova and Jodi Picoult. Set in Maine, Hope and Jack Kelly have it all. A beautiful family, growing lobster business, and the Salt House, an oceanfront cottage that they're renovating to their dream home. But tragedy strikes when their young daughter doesn't wake up from her afternoon nap, having taken her last breath without making a sound. And then we follow them a year later. It just sounds like it's going to be super emotional. So these 2 are contemporary. I think all 3 of these are contemporary. I might not get to all 3 of them, but all 3 have that house or home in the title, and they would fulfill that prompt for the Read Your Bookshelf challenge. So we'll see. And I like that they help me with that goal of reading some of my book exchange books. And then because I also always want to kind of keep series on my mind, I grabbed 2 that will be series finishers. And I wanted to have a middle grade on my pile because I always love to read middle grade. So I would love to finish the Penderwicks series by reading The Penderwicks at Last. This is book 5 in the series, and I'm so eager to read it. And I also have As Sure as the Dawn by Francine Rivers, which finishes the Mark of the Lion trilogy, which is a reread for me, which I started with Katie in November, I believe. We started this trilogy, again, a reread for both of us. So I just want to finish that up and hopefully get to this one in January. We'll see. So these 2 are possibilities. You know, like all the books on my shelves are actually possibilities. But one of my non-really bookish goals for the year is also to be reading a Bible study book or like a Christian learning book. I have quite a few. And so I don't know yet what that will be for January, but I will probably talk about that at some point in the month or in my wrap up. But for now, this is my stack that I'm very happy about. We'll see if I get to all of them. For sure, I'll get to these 3 on the bottom, and for sure I'll read the Penderwicks. But the others in here, I'm gonna hope to read some of them, if not all of them. And then you'll just have to wait until my wrap up at the end of the month to see what else I read. We shall see. I'd love to chat with you in the comments below. What are you most excited to read in the month of January? Are you going strong, like hitting it hard at the beginning of the year? Or are you just kind of taking it easy? Where's your mind at? Where's your heart at? What are you thinking for the month of January? Let's chat down in the comments below. I am excited because all of these books would work towards fulfilling one of my goals for the year. So they're all purposeful. I love that. That makes me very happy. All right, let's chat down below. You guys know I love talking to you down there. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the links in the description below, and I will talk to you in another video very soon. Bye.